So it's up. Oh, well,
It will be up in a second.
it will be up in just a second. Ellen is not able to make it tonight. She got stuck in Concord they changed a one-day session into a two-day session apparently last minute. Yeah. So she sent the agenda to us just a few minutes ago, so you can see it there on the screen.
Okay.
Can you see that okay, or should we zoom in?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and kick this meeting off with any public comments. If you have any.
I don't, well, am I supposed to?
You don't have to,
Oh, okay.
unless you have something
I'm
to
just, I'm new to Newmarket and, just going to see what's happening in town.
Great.
Good idea.
And I actually did talk to, it's Joe, right?
Yep.
From the town council meeting, I understood that you were talking to Jimmy Power, and I'm looking into it earlier that day, so it was very glad that happened.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. All right, we will close public comments. And then moving on to the approval of minutes from our January 11th meeting. Does anybody have any questions about the minutes or issues to bring up?
Could you speak more into the microphone?
Sure. I don't know if it.
It's not working.
Okay, I'll just try to talk louder.
That's
Any issues or questions about the minutes from last meeting? No? All right, does anybody have anyone who wants to move to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from
That?
January 11th, and second by Bill.
Great. All right, next up, it looks like we need to set dates for both.
We have to do a vote on
Oh, shoot, sorry.
it.
I've only done this one time.
I don't
All right.
think anybody's going to object.
So vote to approve the minutes? All the
Aye.
ayes? All right. Aye.
Okay, all in favor.
All in favor, great. Okay, so we need to set dates for the two public hearings for the community power electric aggregation plans.
So, Madam
Any
Chair,
thoughts?
can I make a suggestion? There's a calendar up here. We need to give Wendy a certain, amount of time so that she can post it. I believe, I don't know if it's 10 days or, 8 days, but whatever. I think she needs at least 10 days. I was thinking, how about Wednesday the 8th for our first one, and the 22nd when we have our next meeting. We could, do the public hearing before our meeting, and my gut feeling is that there won't be a whole lot of public. Maybe
Right.
Stella will come to both of them.
We're out.
Thank you.
That works for me. I don't see, let me just check.
More members of the group that can attend would be better. So will those dates work for people?
Yeah, I didn't bring my phone tonight.
The 8th does not work for me, but the 22nd does. But that's okay. It's not a deal breaker necessarily. Is there anyone else who has conflicts on either of those dates?
No.
Okay.
So the only other thing is I will check with Henry. Henry will actually kind of facilitate
Right.
it. I'll check with him, just make sure those dates are. Assume if he can't make one of those dates, is there a third date that we could have as like an alternative?
What about the next Wednesday? What is it? The 15th?
There's a town council meeting that night.
Ah. Okay.
We could tentatively put the 29th.
Yep.
Wednesday the 29th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As a backup. And I was actually in February. I can't make the 8th, so. So that should work great.
So
Okay,
8
so
and
March
22 for sure.
Um,
And the alternate is
29.
29.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I have a question too about that. If we come and, we're waiting for the public to surround us, how long do we wait till we decide the public's not showing up tonight?
We start at, say, 7 o'clock, and if
Okay.
people are there at 7 o'clock, we go. Maybe we might give it like a minute or two, whatever. but,
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much it.
I didn't know if we were supposed to wait an hour or,
No, there's no set.
okay.
Great. Anything else in terms of the hearings that we need to discuss?
So these would be at 7, not 6?
I'm sorry, what?
These would be at 7 PM, not 6? Because if
Well-
we were to do the following, the 22nd, and have our meeting after,
I would say 7 PM. Again, I don't think the public hearing is going to go that long, and
Right.
even if it does, we cancel our meeting.
Sure.
That's what our meeting is.
Okay, so we can put 7.
Great. Okay, and then will you also reach out to Henry, or do I?
Yes,
need to-
I'll talk with Henry and
Okay.
Ellen and make sure that they're okay with those.
Great.
And if everything falls apart, we'll send out emails and we'll try doing it that way.
Meaning if everything falls
Seeing
apart.
Henry says, oh, I can't do either of those dates, and I can't do the fallback date, and Ellen says, I can't do any of those dates,
Okay.
then we'll fall
Sure.
back and see what we do next.
Okay, sounds good. Next agenda item is expiring terms for members. There are 4 of us whose terms are expiring in April, and that includes myself, Sarah, Ellen, and Ruth. I have already stated that I am unfortunately planning to move, so I can't commit to a 3-year term, so I'm not intending to renew at this point. I believe Sarah has said the same. And Ruth, not to put you on the spot, but do you know what your plans are yet in terms of?
No, I already told, I guess I got a letter or an email, and I said, no, that I'll finish in April.
Okay.
You guys are all abandoning me.
I'm still here,
Yes, Dr. Yes, yeah. And Bill.
Okay.
even though I just moved to Dover.
So my question is, what's the minimum amount of people that we need on this council to continue the
If
effort?
there's open slots, there's open slots, okay? It's,
Sure.
you need, for a quorum, X number of the
A
active
percentage
members.
of the group,
Yeah.
sure, okay,
So,
okay,
if you guys aren't, after the elections of March or after April, I guess, any open slots or whatever, the town will advertise it saying, we have these positions on the committees, anybody wants to volunteer? Maybe we'll go just grab Stella. We'll do it as a write-in.
I'm wondering if anyone has additional ideas in terms of recruitment, what we can do.
Yeah, we both have friends in Newmarket, we could
We
see
do.
if they'd be interested.
Yes, that's true. Does anyone have anyone that comes to mind that they could reach out to in their circle that might be interested in something like this?
I hadn't thought about it. I'll think about it.
Okay, yeah, just something to consider, maybe.
And there's a classmate, actually, someone in my class, she's moving to Newmarket.
Okay,
And she was interested, because I'm doing my project on this.
yeah,
So I could reach out to her as well.
great. Yeah, will you do that? That would be excellent. Okay,
I would add, I think we're on the cusp of doing something that could really impact Newmarket.
mm-hmm,
So,
Right.
I think it's a good committee.
Yeah, it's
a
a
big
big-
group. I'm sorry to see you go, and Sarah,
deal.
and you guys are good guys. So,
well, thank you for that, I appreciate that. But we can definitely assist in the effort to try to bring other people on who can carry the torch the next amount of the way. Any other thoughts or questions in terms of the expiring terms?
Yes. So I know that you're not planning on renewing, because you don't know if you're staying here. But without, I would say, without re-electing you to the position, would you still be able to stand in? Is that allowed? Joe, maybe you know?
yeah, yeah, you can certainly fill in until the time that you say that you want to leave. Actually,
Non-committal, of course, right?
Well, but then would I be a part of, I wouldn't be part of voting or anything of
I-
that nature?
I would, well, actually, what I would say is you like re-up for the.
Re-up and
with-
then just resign?
Right, right.
That's an idea.
When the time comes.
Okay, I'll consider it, for sure.
Because then you wouldn't have to commit.
Right. Yeah, that's a big issue. All right. Anything else on the topic? No? Okay, well, we'll move on to our last agenda item then, which is a working session on the master plan. And Joe, I think you've been doing the most work in regards to that, so.
Right, so what I thought we would do is just start kind of like walking through it, look at the comments that people have made, and I have it up on the board, and, you know, as we go through it, if, I don't think we'll get through the whole thing tonight, but if we get through some of it.
Looks like, what do we got, 10 pages here?
At least.
That's what I'm seeing. Let's see, you sent this email. Oh, this is from August 2nd. There's probably an updated version.
The email that I sent, the Google Docs is...
Proposed Newmarket master plan updates.
Right, it should be up to date, I believe. Because I know I've made some updates in January, and I see them in there. So,
Yeah.
let me explain. Okay, so Newmarket has this thing called the master plan. There's many, many sections of things. There is no section in the town's master plan related to energy and environment. The state RSAs, or rules for the state, allow towns to have a chapter in their master plans related to energy and environment, and we have that in here. So anyway, while we were working on the community power stuff, we took a look to see what does the town already have related to, you know, the master plan related to energy. We realized that there was no section in the town's master plan related to energy, although there was a comment that mentioned it. It said, you know, we have our energy plan, whatever, but there is no actual energy plan. So the group decided that, you know, we would do a draft of that chapter. What we have to do at some point in time is pass that on to the planning board. The planning board is the one that actually owns the master plan. They would review it and make any edit changes or whatever, and then they would eventually send that on to the town council. The town council would eventually approve it, and then it would become part of the master plan. So where it is right now is it's in our hands to draw up this chapter. What we have so far, there's actually two parts. In the master plan, there's a very beginning that talks about the vision of what the town of Newmarket is, where they vision the town. They actually wrote it years ago, and they envisioned the town of Newmarket in the year 2025. So we're coming up to 2025. All right. Coming up to the time where they have to renew it anyway. So this first part, the suggestion is that this be included in the vision part, okay? And then the second part that we have is the actual chapter, the new energy chapter. So if we could at least get through the vision part, I feel like we're making some progress. So
Sure. Okay.
So it starts out, the Newmarket Master Plan proposed, this kind of section says, talks about how this came about. So when we were reviewing the town policies and the master plan, the Energy and Environment Advisory Committee found the document to be lacking in an energy policy and planning. The Energy and Environment Advisory Committee presents the following language for consideration by the Newmarket Planning Board and Town Council in future processes to modify the master plan, but eventually add an energy chapter. Okay, so that first, anybody have any issues with that first part?
Nope.
Unless you want to say as soon as possible or something.
I can tell you right now, the planning board and all of this will take a long time for them
Okay.
to approve and adopt. It's just the nature of the beast.
And that's what
Patrick is.
Patrick was saying as well, that they're still like, what, he said they're 15 years behind on the plan they need to be working on or something, so I don't think we're anticipating it.
Personally, to me, I mean, they're adding a new chapter, okay, and maybe updating their vision statement a little bit. I can see them haggling over the vision statement. The energy part, it's a whole new section. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
inventing the wheels.
I wouldn't count on it being done real quick.
Okay. No, I think that first part looks great.
Okay, so, so revisions to the vision for the future section. So like I say, in the beginning of the actual master plan for Newmarket, there's a vision section. And what we're asking here is, hey, take a look at this. I think this covers a lot of what they want to say, and I think this actually, personally, I think this covers it better than the existing vision statements, which, you know, the vision is for what Newmarket is going to look like in 2025, as I said, which is right around the corner.
Sure.
So, so it spelled principal wrong. Okay. My comment is this section should replace or supplement the Newmarket's vision for the future. Suggest we call it Newmarket's vision for the future, guiding principles, because it is kind of what this section is basically guiding principles for what the master plan should do. Okay, just what all the different sections should cover and, you know, how to cover them, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. As a cornerstone for developing and maintaining a master plan for the town of Newmarket, the Newmarket Town Council and Newmarket Planning Board have adopted the following principles to serve as guidelines for master planning. The following principles address 7 essential areas that need to be considered for a master plan to make a positive difference on our community. I will add that a lot of the stuff I ripped off from either Rye or
Sure.
Lebanon. I did not write all this stuff, okay? I did edit it, change stuff that I thought, and Sarah changed some stuff too.
Yeah, and I don't intend to interrupt you. My question for like this is, are there particular parts that you think might be controversial or that we especially need to discuss? Because I think if, you know, if some of this stuff is boilerplate, then it might not be necessary to review every line in depth. I don't know if anyone else feels differently about that, but our time might be better used if we.
I don't know, you know, there are things in here that I think are fine, and then somebody else looks at them and they say, like Sarah pointed out, like on the second one here, before it said, you know, the traditional character of Newmarket, and she came along and said, well, you know, traditional character might mean something different to somebody than historical character.
Sure.
Okay, and that never even dawned on me when she said that. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, I could see somebody
I like
saying.
that edit. Yeah.
So, I think, you know, we have plenty of time if we can
Sure. Okay.
go through it, and if
Totally
anybody objects or feels that there's something.
No, that's fine. I'm good with it.
So principle number 1 is community access and engagement. Okay, good master planning requires that that it welcomes the public's participation and honors the public trust. Cornerstones of public trust include effective outreach, communication, accountability, transparency. Encouraging broad, inclusive collaboration in master planning recognizes that all levels of government, together with the nonprofit and private sector, have a stake in creating and implementing mutual beneficial policies. Improving public access to information and processes can make policies and plans more accurate, accountable, transparent, fair, and responsive to community needs. At the same time, because the state and federal government decisions affect our community, we can effectively advocate our interests by advancing our participation at those levels. So community access and engagement is principle number 1.
Sounds good to me. Anybody have feedback on that one?
So principle number, sense of place. So again, this originally said the traditional character, and Sarah brought up, I feel that this paragraph, I like the feel of this paragraph, but wonder what we mean by traditional here in the first sentence. It might be worth briefly expanding on the hard-working, innovative, and forward-thinking aspects of Newmarket's history to capture what is unique and why we have pride in our place. Otherwise, traditional can feel like code for something else, more closed-minded.
I agree with her.
Don't,
Yep. I think that's the right call.
so, we've changed the word traditional character to history. The history of Newmarket anchors our community identity, civic pride, and quality of life. Preserving the character and history of existing neighborhoods, our town center traditions, and promoting harmonious character while allowing for diverse and inclusion in new and existing neighborhoods, keep our community unique, revitalizing and supporting our town center and key town gateways, help maintain key focal points for the community activity, preserving the rural landscape, supports farm and forest-based activity, contiguous tracts of open space for people and wildlife, and high-valued scenic aspects. You know, I like that too.
I like it.
I like it with the edits, for sure. Yep. I don't know why I'm getting a little stuck on the harmonious character thing.
Because it's mentioned, character is mentioned twice in the same sentence.
Well-
I would just said promoting harmony.
Yeah, I just don't really know what harmonious character means.
Harmony, I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like it's ill-defined.
Is there a better word than promoting?
And I'm not sure why traditions and promoting harmonious character are in the same
Well,
phrase.
okay.
I don't understand that. Is it is the intention to say that we're sort of finding a way to honor tradition while also honoring newness? Is that the intent of that section?
So, okay, so the sense of place
Well,
is
sorry, not
principle
the
number
section,
2.
Just that tiny little,
Mhm.
just that tiny little blurb. That's what I'm talking about. Just traditions and promoting.
Right, but the principle is sense of place, like, you know, the town of Newmarket, you know,
Mhm.
and
Instead of promoting harmonious character, it just comes on along.
Traditions and promoting harmony. They still seem unrelated to me, but that does sound better, so I'm good with that.
oops, what happened there? Why did that do that?
It's really about promoting a sense of community.
Okay, let's,
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, harmonious to me means everybody's getting along.
Mhm.
Harmonious character, I've never heard that expression. but
Right, like getting along,
Maybe there's a choir.
yeah. I think,
so I took out harmonious character and replaced it with the word harmony? Is that?
Or what about traditions of promoting community?
ooh,
Will allow for diversity, I'm sorry, preserving the character and history of existing neighborhoods, our town center, traditions, and promoting, what did you say?
Traditions of promoting community.
I like that.
And the tradition,
Yeah, and traditions of promoting community.
Or traditions that promote community.
Yeah.
Traditions.
Promoting community traditions.
I think we're trying to communicate though that the traditions that should be kept are the ones that create community.
Right.
Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
so,
And I also don't think we need that comma, but maybe not.
a comma.
For a while.
Allowing.
So you have to put and the traditions that promote community while allowing.
Allowing for diversity sounds a little bit too, like promoting.
Celebrating.
diversity.
I like celebrating.
Yeah, while celebrating, yeah.
Right.
And then you don't need the for.
or even while emphasizing diversity and inclusion?
Is it-
Town center, the traditions that promote community. And the traditions that promote community while celebrating diversity and inclusion. Yeah. Yep.
if I can, I hate this version of Word.
I think it's the little pen next to the A. Are you looking for the highlight button?
No, in Word, you can see what the completed thing or the corrected version looks like.
Oh, yeah.
File edit. Okay, well,
That's good.
we'll have to wing it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So the history of Newmarket anchors our community identity, civil pride, and quality of life, preserving the character and history of existing neighborhoods, our town center, and the tradition that promotes community while celebrating diversity and inclusion is new and existing neighborhoods, help keeps our community unique, revitalizing and supporting our town center, and our key gateways help maintain key focal points for community activity, preserving the rural landscape, supports farm and forest-based activity, contiguous tracts of open space for people and wildlife. Okay, I'm fine with those.
Great. Any other comments on this section? Okay. Moving on.
All right, so I think these changes. Let's see. Okay, so number 3 is related to us. Principle 3, environmental responsibility and energy efficiency. A healthy natural environment in turn sustains human physical, mental, and physical health. Scientific data and practical experience confirms the value of identifying, avoiding, minimizing, and repairing environmental harm. We benefit from clean air, abundant drinking water, productive soils, and diverse ecosystems. Protecting and strengthening our community's natural resources, enhancing our economy and capacity to withstand floods, droughts, and other potential disasters. Conserving green infrastructure, a network of open space, waterways, and other natural areas is vital to this effort. Partnering with citizens, landowners, schools, businesses, organizations, and other governments, we can responsibly enjoy natural assets now and for many years to come. Newmarket town departments should lead by example in following or exceeding best management practices for all of these operations. For example, energy efficient is critical in our environmental health and community prosperity. Effective energy master planning should help promote energy conservation and promote sustainable technologies and make those technologies and resources available to the community. So, yeah, the other thing that we're working on, or supposed to be working on, is the actual detailed plan, how to get to the 2030 thing. And in that 2030, or in that resolution, we say that the town department should lead. So this kind of fits in with
Okay.
that piece of what we're doing.
Yeah, I like this.
No.
The only thing I kind of want to add a little bit at the end maybe is maybe something a little stronger than just available to the community, but with it, like somehow emphasize that we want it to be accessible to folks of, low income or that traditionally would not be able to access some of the.
Instead of available, but accessible.
Sure, yeah. I don't know what anyone else thinks about.
I mean, I think it's good.
Resources available to all.
Available, maybe available and accessible to all, regardless of socioeconomic status.
Available and readily accessible.
Yeah, something something like that.
I'm sorry.
And accessible to the community, or to all members of the community regardless of socioeconomic status. I don't know if anyone has an issue with that or better way to word that.
All members include people with socioeconomic status.
I think so. I guess I'm just trying to be a little more pointed
Yeah.
about that. Because I think sometimes these sort of things have a tendency to be more easily accessible to those who have wealth. And I
I would also, instead of put help promote and promote, just say help promote energy conservation and sustainable technologies, comma, and make those technologies and resources available.
Before we go to that, I didn't finish this one. So regardless of economic status?
Socioeconomic
Socio-
status. Yeah.
I think it's just one word. You can make it
I
one
think
word.
you can do it both ways.
Socioeconomic status? Regardless of socioeconomic status?
Yep.
Is that right? So this says
Yeah, he's right. It doesn't need a dash.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sean. What?
You can just make it one word.
Yeah. So,
And then I was saying,
yeah.
in the beginning of a sentence, effective energy master planning should help promote energy conservation and sustainable technologies, comma, and make those technologies and resources available and accessible.
Okay, and where is
See
that?
what I'm saying? Just take out
This is
the
just the last one.
second
I
promote,
got it. Take out the promote?
take out the
Oh, I see
second
what you're saying.
promote, and then add
Do you mind if I change it?
No.
and then a comma after
Go
technology.
for it.
Got it? Is that right?
You don't like my one finger typing?
I love it, Joe. I think it's great. All right. Anyone else have comments on this?
Why does it say anonymous dinosaur? Is that you?
That's me. I am. I'm glad that it chose dinosaur for me. I feel really good about that,
I'm
actually.
an old white guy. I'm not a dinosaur.
So great. Yeah, any other comments on the third principle? No? Okay. Moving on. Number 4.
Principle, intelligent, coordinated development and transportation. Unregulated and ill-planned development that detracts from many of the principles outlined here and should be discouraged if we are to secure those assets and make our community desirable. Coordinating infill development, adaptive reuse of existing buildings, and conservation design for new development will maintain viable settlement patterns and effectively use existing infrastructure. Managing an orderly pace of development will minimize negative effects on the town finances from associated needs for increased facilities and services as our community grows. Developing attractive human-scale, mixed-use, walkable, bikeable neighborhoods will help conserve and enhance quality of life. Integration of multimodal transportation systems and electric vehicles should be encouraged to promote alternatives to the traditional combustion engine, should be internal combustion engine, automobile. Benefits include less traffic congestion, less air pollution, less wear and tear on roads, and safer access for people of all ages and abilities. Is this inherently good?
That all seems pretty straightforward to me. Love a little bit more bikeability around here.
I'm not sure what you meant by is this inherently good settlement patterns.
Oh, I didn't even see Sarah's comment.
Coordinating infill development, adaptive reuse of existing buildings, and conservation design for new development will maintain viable settlement patterns. I guess she didn't like the traditional
Yeah, fair enough.
word there.
I don't love that word either, so I'm kind of with her on that.
Viable settlement patterns.
Yeah, I don't really understand her question, so we'll have to clarify with her on that, what she means. I think we can continue on for now, though, because she's not here to share that. Any other comments on Principle 4?
stuff?
Okay, so Sarah replaced green with sustainable. I agreed with that.
Yeah.
And replaced sport educational with sport, educational with sport educational. Okay. So economic vitality. Local businesses are the key component of any viable community. They foster and bind the community. Master planning should support a healthy climate for existing desirable enterprises and foster a sustainable, innovative, and diverse business environment to attract new businesses and proactively position our community for a continually changing world. Economic vitality also depends upon the ability to attract, develop, and retain a capable, creative, and highly motivated workforce. Planning should support educational, cultural, entrepreneurial opportunities that affect people of diverse demographics. In support of a diverse workforce, master planning should promote a range of affordable housing options to help strengthen and grow our job base. All of these activities will encourage further community investment, reduce poverty, and promote prosperity and diversity. So this is something that I really want to do.
Instead of job base, I would say
affordable housing. So
It's a really big issue. Yeah, I'm glad you included that. Yeah, I'm gonna make a tiny little grammar
Go
change
for it.
if that's okay. I think this could be 2 sentences. I'm gonna fix that, but other than that, I don't have any particular comments on this section. I really like it. Anybody else have thoughts?
I was just wondering what the status of affordable housing is. Is there any,
It's
it
bad.
isn't.
It's,
I know it's bad all over, but here too.
oh yes.
I don't know what,
Yeah.
what they can do, what can be done other than,
there needs to be more regulation.
increase housing, maybe
Yeah.
change some zoning laws to make it,
I know it's on Bart's agenda.
Right.
From the Conservation Commission, I've heard the accessory dwelling unit stuff they're working on with the planning board, and yeah, it's a huge issue everywhere.
Is that,
It's
you're talking about like second,
doing a second and a
properties?
third, being able to do that, yeah,
Okay.
is the proposal. Last I heard, I haven't made it to a meeting in a bit, but yes, that you could have one attached and another off of it, but that, yeah, to diversify housing, make it more affordable, hopefully, so it's not such a monopoly of one
Right. person
owning all of the apartment buildings and hiking up prices, but
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, like prices have tripled for some renters. It's crazy, yeah.
I live in the Cherry Hill apartments, and they're
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
But even then, there's still waiting lists that are incredibly long for people to even get into those apartments. I know for sure, and that's the major apartment complex here. in the
Where are
city.
they going then while they're waiting?
Rochester, probably.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Off the seacoast, yeah.
Off the
And
seacoast.
commuting far.
Manchester.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who go to Manch.
Mhm.
So, I wonder in Newmarket too what the percentage of places that are owned, as a second income by, or even like a third property that people use as an Airbnb. I don't know what the prevalence of that is.
Mhm. I know in the accessory dwelling thing, they'd try to, we discussed the Airbnb thing and how it would also limit housing, so
Oh.
ways that you could make it long-term, or at least a month, so to prevent that type of rental.
Yeah, that would be good.
again, these are
Yeah.
guiding principles,
Yeah.
what we
Yeah,
should
we're-
strive to.
We're getting
Yeah,
off track a little
off
bit.
topic.
Yeah.
No, but
I think we have a
Important issue.
the
question
conversation's
there.
fine, I just want to say, this whole section here is,
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
we envision and strive to.
Oh, okay.
So we're okay with this one?
I think so. Anyone
Yeah.
have it there?
Nope.
Great.
Fiscal responsibility, master planning has to take into account the impact on municipal finances. Plans should be developed such that current and future generations of residents can afford to live here. The alternative would erode the traditional socioeconomic diversity that has distinguished our community. Careful attention to land use and tax policy such as promoting redevelopment in order to increase asset valuation, can raise new revenues without incurring new costs for municipal services. Incentives for sensible frugality can yield future savings.
That seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Yep.
Comments? Questions?
Regional partnerships. Newmarket is uniquely positioned in the seacoast region of New Hampshire with its proximity to the Lamprey River, Great Bay, and roadways that unite Newmarket with other communities. Our community as well as the region can benefit by actively engaging with neighboring towns to achieve common goals and address common challenges and opportunities more effectively. To the benefit of Newmarket, financial and operational efficiencies may result from economies of scale. Encouraging a regional view of the community interdependence while respecting local authority can enable the community to manage growth locally and collaborate regionally. That was a lot of wordings. Definitely working with our neighbors, in Lamprey River.
Yeah, that's good language.
Is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because interdependence is what we're doing with the EAP.
Yeah, absolutely. Questions or comments? No?
So,
Okay.
just a footnote here, a lot of this stuff was taken from Lebanon's
Oh,
guiding principles.
so not Rye on this particular.
Yeah, Rye was the next part.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think all of that sounds really good. I think it's pretty comprehensive. I don't think that there's something, a principle that's missing. Anyone else see like a glaring gap?
All right, so I think we can all agree that the guiding principles, so the vision section stuff, we're done with it.
Yep.
We'll clean it up and,
Great.
I don't know, at the next meeting to do a final review or just say, hey, we're done with that.
Let's say, I think,
When we do the other part, then we just send it all in.
yep, I think that sounds great.
Okay.
So during the next meeting at the end of March, we can go over this. And I think if folks have time to offer their feedback on that section before we have our next meeting, then that would probably be ideal. This section's a little bit longer, it looks like, and a little bit more in the weeds. So want to take a look beforehand.
Yeah, I actually tried to give some feedback, but I was locked out for some
Oh.
reason.
He was saying that he tried to give some feedback on the master plan and he was blocked out.
In terms of the energy section, but
Of this or the?
yeah.
Really?
Which is weird because I'm able to do so, so.
Go in on the link. I sent out the link, and next time you're,
Let me check here, just.
are you trying to do it online now?
This was maybe a couple weeks ago when I was reviewing it.
I mean, the settings say anyone with the link can comment.
Okay.
So try it again.
So
and
maybe I
if
accessed
so-
it.
Yeah, just let us know if that happens again and we can try to make sure you get access.
Request edit access.
Do you
All right,
want
so I just sent the request.
Okay.
So I guess I still don't.
sections of the next one?
If you'd like to, we have 10 minutes, so yeah, we can do that.
Okay. All right, so the next part now is the actual energy and environment section of the master plan. This is what we're really supposed to do. Okay? So I don't think there's much issues with the first part here is just an introduction. It talks about the state legislation that enables towns to have this section. So that's all this is, enabling legislation for energy chapter of a master plan. New Hampshire RSA chapter 674, blah, 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 blah. So the next part is vision. The use of energy influences many facets of life in Newmarket today. Energy can affect municipal costs and operations, influence job growth, local economy, and impact the natural resources and quality of life that are so important to Newmarket residents. The overall vision of Newmarket is a community that supports and preserves its semi-rural character while simultaneously embracing 21st century technology, environmentally progressive strategies, local businesses and opportunities. Newmarket's energy policy will play a significant role in achieving this vision. Newmarket residents, landowners, and business owners can benefit greatly by the town becoming a more energy secure and sustainable community. Environmentally progressive policies with respect to energy generation, building standards, land use patterns, transportation are critical to Newmarket's long-term stability. So I think the intent of that was to just, just in a couple of sentences say, okay, these are the things that we need to do for energy wise.
I have no problem with that section.
Yeah, I think it sounds good.
I have a slight problem with embracing 21st century technology, because some is good and some isn't. So we can say the best of the newest technology or the best of 21st century technology.
The best of 21st century technology.
I see what you're saying. I worry a little bit that saying the best sets this sort of high bar.
Yeah.
That, what about embracing effective 21st century?
Yeah, that's fine.
I almost want to suggest that we say emerging technology instead of 21st century in case they
Embracing
don't
emerging technology.
update it anytime soon.
Oh,
Maybe by
Keep it more evergreen,
oh my God, yeah, that's probably a sensible block.
And then you can get rid of century as well.
Well,
Why not?
embracing effectively, or embracing,
No.
you'll just take out
Effective.
effectively?
No, I think it makes sense as is, while simultaneously embracing effective emerging technology. Grammatically, it's correct. Might not sound great though. I don't know.
Okay, you okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
2.0. Energy objectives for the town of Newmarket. The energy chapter of the Newmarket Master Plan was conceived to increase the understanding of current energy consumption and to provide the guidance required to reduce dependence of non-renewable fuels, lower greenhouse gas emissions, reduce energy costs, and provide opportunities to incorporate clean renewable energy sources into the community of Newmarket. The overall objective is to reduce the town's carbon footprint and to increase the town's energy security. This is accomplished through establishing a town policy of energy consciousness decision-making in every phase of the municipal operation and capital improvements by encouraging businesses and residents to do the same. Okay. In support of this objective, in July 2022, the Newmarket Town Council adopted Resolution 2021-2237 pertaining to sustainable energy goals. Resolution 2021-37 calls for aspiring to achieve 100% reliance on renewable and carbon neutral sources of electric energy by the year 2030 and 100% reliance on renewable and carbon neutral sources of fuel and heating and transportation by the year 2050.
That was one of my comments. Aspiring to achieve.
Well, that's what's actually in the
Aspiring to
resolution.
achieve. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a fight over that.
Really?
Here at that time.
Okay.
It did say, I don't know, I forget what it said instead of aspiring, but it sort of committed the town to doing it by 2030,
Yeah.
I felt. And therefore, by changing it to aspired, we weren't committed
Oh, that's
to
right.
it, but we.
I like this one, but.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
still,
I think it can be achieved, not achieving, but that's just a grammatical thing.
that's
Or aspiring.
aspiring to achieve. Yeah, that's where I was.
That's all.
Aspiring to 100%, maybe achieving
No, I was just going to say
Well, it
what
is
she
kind of
did,
like-
aspiring to
It's
achieve.
a milestone you're trying to reach. So you could say reach, but I
No, aspiring to achieve is great. I was just saying without the ing at the end.
I thought you were talking about the-
Grammatically, Emily hit it. Yeah.
I don't know, Bill. I feel like you do need the verb there, the achieve.
It's fine, it's what you,
Yeah. The only thing I'm wondering, and I don't know that I'm right about this, but in that first paragraph, it's pretty heavy on reduce, lower, reduce. Like, it's very it sounds restrictive rather than like exciting and visionary. You know what I'm saying? So I almost would wonder if it might be beneficial to make it more positive. Instead of saying reduce dependence of non-renewable fuels, we say increase dependence on renewable fuels. You know what I'm saying? Like sort of just
Right.
slightly shift the
Because
narrative there.
the
So-
energy transition is not going to be overnight.
unfortunately, logically, there's room for doing both. Just not reducing, but increasing reliance on it. See what I mean?
I suppose, yeah. Yeah,
Required to-
maybe it's not necessary, but that's just.
Well,
Reduce
the overall objective is to reduce.
Well, I mean,
Say
inherently
The overall
though,
objective is to increase, take out the carbon footprint.
Total dependence?
inherently, if you increase your dependence on renewable energy, then you would be less dependent on fossil fuels, right?
Not if you increase your demand for energy, that goes on.
Ah, fair enough, yeah, okay.
Furthermore, you can reduce dependence by everybody not using any energy.
Fair enough.
It's required to reduce total dependence on non-renewables.
Okay, no, I think that's fair enough. All right, I retract my criticism.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's more of a messaging thing, but we don't want it to muddle the message, so that's fine.
So the next parts really get into the weeds, and actually,
We're almost out of time.
we have an update to this residential and commercial use.
Okay.
I think I sent everybody a picture
Yeah, I
of that,
remember.
but
I do have one question about the remaining sections. There's no mention of the EAP, right?
What?
Of the EAP.
Of the
no.
EAP. Now, once or if it passes after the hearings, will this be added to the energy plan?
I don't believe we actually, no, I don't believe so, but there's
Or
plenty of room down in the bottom down here to say,
community
okay,
coalition goals, or
I
yeah,
just
we
want-
need goals and whatever.
I just
because this is
wonder
a guidance, but that's a guidance for this guidance.
well, this right, and so I'm wondering if that's necessary though, because this is like vision, right? This is the where we're trying to go, whereas the like community power, that sort of thing, is more like the how we get there.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering if it's necessary in this particular document. Maybe, I don't know, but the way I'm perceiving the purpose of this document wouldn't necessarily require us to explain exactly how we're going to reach the objectives that we outline in
Right.
the plan.
I'll add, Ellen and I have had some conversations about that.
Mhm.
To me, this is more of a higher level plan.
Right.
Okay. We do have the other document that we're supposed to be working on to get us to 2030,
Mhm.
2050.
The resolution?
To me, that's where, we need
You'd
the
put the
actual
details.
detail.
Sure.
Okay, how are you going to get there?
Well, so I know the resolution that was passed is mentioned in this, and that's why I mentioned the EAP once, or if passed.
The resolution is more aspirational and visionary, though, so
Okay.
it makes sense, I think, that it would be included here. And
Okay.
also, I think,
So this is a vision, EAP is the framework.
it's,
EAP
It's
is
the how-
an actual plan. How do you
Yeah.
get from A to
Right.
B? How to get to that goal?
and with respect to, one category, which is energy,
Mhm.
right? So this includes
This is the environment, energy.
other
as well.
aspects too, so.
We looked at the part yet where you said alternative energy. I don't think that's a good word, simply because an alternative could be coal.
Well, if that's later in the document, then we can save that discussion.
What kind of energy are we looking for?
Renewable, sustainable.
Sure.
Renewable, sustainable, low carbon footprint, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think yeah, and it sounds like maybe that'll come up later, but we are at time right now, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. So it sounds like the work to do individually, if you have capacity, is to, starting at section 3.1, is to read through and add any comments that you have with regards to the master plan, and we can reconvene at our next meeting and finish this up.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Sounds like a great plan to me.
Okay, great. Yep, and we can certainly discuss those things. And so I believe that that concludes our agenda for the evening, unless there's anything I'm missing. Joe?
No, that was all.
Okay, so we will see everyone, well, we'll confirm the dates for the public forums, but otherwise, we'll be back together here on the 22nd.
Okay.
And we're supposed to talk about birthday too at some point,
Okay.
because that's in April, so.
Yep, we'll have to put that on the agenda for March, I think, as we're out of time tonight.
What, I'm sorry, what was that?
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
We didn't get to it
Oh,
today.
yeah.
That's okay. I do think that I think Earth Day is really important. I also think we talked about the most high priority items on our particular, like on our plate tonight. So I think it's okay if we do get to that or if we don't. Personally, that's just me. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. What do I say?
Motion to adjourn? is
Motion
that-
to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you were talking about
Yes.
15, and I will be.
Stella.
Emily.